I get it, you're staring at a shelf of laser levels, wondering if any of them will actually save you from remeasuring, re-drilling, and the endless, is this really straight? Moments that eat up a day on a job site or in a DIY project. The fear of dropping serious cash on a tool that sounds fancy but ends up gathering dust is real, and the last thing you need is another piece of equipment that promises accuracy but leaves you guessing whether it's calibrated or just a pricey pointer. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Leica Lino ML180 is marketed as a multi-line laser that can automatically seek a target, sit on a freestanding swivel base, and be adjusted remotely. Those are the buzzwords you hear in the store, but let's break down what that actually means when you pull it out of the case and set it up on a construction site, a renovation job, or even a garage workshop. First off, the Auto Target Seek isn't just a gimmick. It's a small sensor that watches for the reflected laser beam on the surface you're working with, then fine-tunes the projector so the lines stay true even if the base shifts a little. In practice, that translates to fewer manual tweaks when you're aligning cabinets, hanging drywall, or laying out a concrete slab. If you're the type of professional who spends half the day walking around a room, checking whether a line is still level, the remote adjustment feature is a game changer. Instead of climbing a ladder or crouching under a beam to twist a dial, you can keep the laser where it is, step back, and use the handheld remote to nudge the lines left, right, up, or down. I've seen contractors use that to keep a laser running while they're actually installing the material. Think of it as a hands-free level. For a homeowner tackling a one-off kitchen remodel, the remote can also help you stay on the ground, avoiding the awkwardness of trying to reach a high-mount unit. The precise layouts at long distances claim a lot of attention in the spec sheet. In real-world terms, that means you can set the Lino ML180 about 30 feet away from a wall and still get a clear, sharp line that doesn't fade into a faint glow. When you're marking out a large commercial space or a big garage, you'll appreciate that the laser isn't fighting against ambient light or distance decay. That precision is especially useful when you need to align multiple rows of studs or pipe runs. The laser gives you a single, consistent reference instead of relying on a string line that can sag. Plumb dot positioning is another feature that sounds technical but is straightforward once you see it in action. The laser projects a bright dot that stays perfectly vertical regardless of where the base is placed. If you're hanging doors, setting up a wall-mounted TV, or installing a vertical conduit, that dot gives you a quick visual cue without pulling out a separate plumb bob. The dot's reliability is tied to the XCR Catch system, Leica's smart laser receiver that communicates with the remote. The receiver locks onto the dot's signal, ensuring the remote adjustments are based on a stable reference point rather than a drifting beam. Now, who should actually consider buying this setup? If you're a professional contractor, electrician, or HVAC installer who needs a reliable, multi-line laser that can be repositioned quickly and stays accurate over longer spans, the Lino ML180 hits the sweet spot. The remote and auto-target functions shave minutes off each setup, and that adds up over the course of a week. It also makes sense for serious DIY enthusiasts who are planning multiple large-scale projects. Think finishing a basement, building a deck, or retiling an entire floor. The investment pays off when you're using the laser repeatedly because the time saved and the reduction in errors outweigh the upfront cost. On the flip side, if your work revolves around small, occasional tasks like hanging a few pictures, installing a single shelf, or doing a quick paint line, this might be overkill. The remote and auto-target features are most valuable when you're dealing with repetitive adjustments. A basic line laser or a simple laser distance measurer would handle those jobs just fine and at a fraction of the price. Also, if you're operating in an environment with heavy dust, vibrations, or constant impact, you might want to look for a model with a more rugged housing. The Lino ML180 is built solidly, but its primary focus is precision, not industrial shock resistance. Let's talk about practical strengths. The biggest win is the combination of remote control and auto-target seeking. In my experience, tools that require you to physically climb up to the laser can introduce alignment errors each time you adjust. Being able to fine-tune from the ground eliminates that risk. The long-distance clarity also means you can set up the laser once and walk the entire perimeter of a room without having to reposition it every few feet. The Plumb dot, paired with the XCR Catch receiver, provides a reliable vertical reference that you can lock,